.com. You too can watch me be annoying on the internet anytime you like and support my work. But I am now going to play you some songs. I started playing ukulele when I was on tour managing bands and doing like poetry and stuff. And somebody had a ukulele. I was like, that looks cool, tell me more. And I found it was just such a great way for me to accompany the poetry I was writing. Like I needed something to go with these lyrics. It turns out they were lyrics, not poems. And I ended up writing a play called Fish Girl, that was sort of reflective of my experiences as a sex worker and being a femme in this like stigmatized reality, being seen as like not quite human in some respects, overly exoticized, and lots of myths about. So anyway, I wrote this play called Fish Girl. This is the title track from it. You can listen to it on Spotify. I was a baby born in bathtub gin. I'll be breaking hearts till I'm 6 feet and can't keep the boys that I like best, 'cause a fish and a bird can't build a nest. I am not the girl of your dreams, 'cause I've got scales and you got wings. Well, I am not a diamond, I'm just a pearl. And I am nothing special, I'm just a weird fish girl. I know that it's hard for you to swim so deep, so darling, won't you take my breath? It's yours to keep. I found you washed up on the beach. You were gasping for air just beyond my reach. I never left the sea before, but you made me want just a little more. So amphibious I became. Now the breath that we both breathe is the same. Whoa, take me to the desert, take me to the beach, take me to the places that are hard to reach. Oh, take me to the mountain, take me to the top, take me high as you can, and then let me drop. 'Cause I am not a diamond, can't you see I'm just a pearl? And I am nothing special, I'm just a weird fish girl. I know that it's hard for you to swim this deep, so darling, won't you take my breath? It's yours to keep. I am yours to keep. I am yours to keep. Thank you. Sip of water. Singing in a mask is hard. Should have practiced, but I played a gig one time, and I was sort of transitioning away from poetry and music and stuff, but I got to play at the Desiree Alliance, which was this amazing conference for sex workers that happened like every other year. This was one of the last years we did it, but it was in Vegas, and I was playing poolside. I was like, oh, how nice, it's fabulous, all these sex workers, it's so lovely. And I went to sing, and like, have you ever sang in the desert in the summer? It doesn't work. It does not work. Like my throat was just like, Little Mermaid life. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple more things for you. This is a song from a musical that got cut. Sometimes when you write a play, there's a whole other backstory, a whole other character that just like, she doesn't make it. So this is one of the creatures and mermaid lore that got cut. It's a cappella, but I do play the back of the ukulele.
Literally a fish in the desert. That's what I'm thinking. You're like, this song is coming to life.
Exactly, which is kind of what this song is about. It's called The Story of O, and you can listen to it on Spotify. O was a mermaid who was older than the sea. She was dried up like a sand dollar by the time that she met me. The bartender swore she was Neptune's only daughter. She'd been singing in this Vegas bar since Vegas was underwater. Her skin was tan as daddy's belt and tough like sailor's rope. But she was beautiful as dusk and gave the gamblers hope. She sang a song of sixpence, of heartache on the sea. Her briny tears gave the taste to the famous martinis. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 the story of Ophelia was her given name, that tragic Hamlet's girl. But was not the drowning type, though she gave it quite a whirl. Whiskey, rum, and Tanqueray were what she tried to use. But you cannot drown a mermaid, not with tears or with booze. Oh, whoa, 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 the story of One day we found Ophelia dried up in the sun after 2 days by the swimming pool and 2 bottles of rum. Her tail was crisp, her skin was burned, she'd left us finally. And now she sings her siren song high above the sea. Oh, 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 the story of her name was whoa, 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 oh, the story of All right, I'm gonna not sing the last song I was gonna sing because it's so hard in this mask, but maybe outside or later. But this song, I'm gonna read you a little piece from my book, Truth, Justice, and the American Whore, which is a collection of pieces from my column that I wrote in the San Francisco Weekly for like 4 years. The column was called The Whore Next Door. And I wrote about, it was technically the sex column, but for me it was like the feminism, the queer theory, the Marxism column, and I was really trying to document what was happening in San Francisco at the time, which was changing rapidly. So the song I was gonna sing to you is called San Francisco Bay and is very much about the same thing. Please go listen to it on Spotify. It's under the Fish Girl album. But this was originally published January 14th, 2015. It's called This Old Sex Dungeon, Queer SF is Vanishing. Sucking on my girlfriend's nipples in the bathroom of the Lexington Club is exactly how I wanted to ring in the new year. DJ Dirt was spinning 90s R&B, and we had only run into one of our exes so far. It was shaping up to be a wonderful, if bittersweet, night. We took explicit selfies against the bright blue graffiti-covered walls and necked until someone banged on the door, the dance that many dykes had done before us, but very few would ever do again. I've been a topless mermaid atop the pool table stage at the Lexington. I've gotten laid at the Lexington. It's a place for falling in love with strangers, breakups, makeups, makeouts, and magic. The Lexington Club has been the Cheers of dyke bars in San Francisco for the past 18 years. It's where everybody knows your name and what you look like naked. But this little slice of lesbian paradise would close in the coming year, another victim of San Francisco's rapidly changing landscape. Owner Lila Thurkield released a statement on the Lexington's Facebook page last October announcing with a heavy heart that she would be selling the beloved bar in the heart of the Mission District. When a business caters to about 5% of the population, it has a tremendous impact when 1% of them leave. When 3% or 4% can no longer afford to live in the neighborhood or the city, it makes the business model unsustainable. She was referring to the many queers who once called the Mission home and made up the Lexington's regular clientele, but have since migrated across the bay to sunnier skies and more reasonable rent, making room for wealthy, rich, tech industry workers. The Lex is not alone. Queer spaces are disappearing from the city right and left. Later that evening, we found ourselves at a party nearby hosted by the Radical Fairies. For context, the Radical Fairies are a queer movement that blends Marxism, feminism, sex positivity, spiritualism, and drag. The 1979 fairy gathering here in San Francisco resulted in the founding of the civic organization known as the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, drag. From the outside, it looked like any other Victorian, flawless, classic, yet unassuming, but inside it was a 4-story wonderland of hot tubs, tree forts, and pillow pits, along with a labyrinth-like sex dungeon in the basement covered in drawings of fisting and love poems about the smell of cum. Mattresses on the floor, cages in the corner, dim lighting, graffiti-covered cement walls. It was exactly like what an underground gay sex dungeon should look like. It was well after midnight by the time we arrived,
and only to find a few stragglers sucking each other off in the beanbags in the perfectly 1980s living room. One of the few party guests told us this place had been a venue for queer sex parties for close to 3 decades, but it was all going away. The owner was selling the property for just over $1 million, so come next New Year's Eve, this fairy sanctuary would probably be a condo. We took a selfie in the bathroom painted with the leather pride flag, black, blue, and white stripes with a red heart in the corner. We took some vintage porn from the free box and headed home to Oakland. These places echo with ghosts of yesteryear, generations of queers loving, creating, fucking, and fighting in one place, but by next year, these places will both be gone. Thurkield assured me via email shortly after the first of the year that the Lexington will remain open for several more months before it finally says its goodbyes. But as another fairy sanctuary gets sold, another dyke bar closes, and more queers move away because they can't afford to pay rent here, San Francisco is starting to bear less and less resemblance to the city I fell in love with. I and so many other queers have come of age in this city, and now I worry about where exactly the next generation will go to find a community when they do land here. Terrible note to end down. Thank you so much for having me, Valerie. This is a beautiful location, and thank you for making space for poetry. Oh, ilovesqmedia.com is where you can support my work and find me Tuesday.
Thank you so much. What a bounty. Like, just so full and wonderful.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're intimate here, so please, I'm so excited.